Welcome back to DRG and welcome back to another engineer build showcase. Today we will be focusing on the Voltaic Smg combined with the Turret Arc Overclock. The Turret Arc Overclock is a bit of a niche overclock and a bit of a special overclock to make work with, but it is all in all, in my opinion, a pretty interesting overclock and a way different take on how you can actually play the engineer, otherwise, which is unlike what you would otherwise do, at least in my opinion. What we're basically going to do is we're going to run the Voltaic Smg together with the LMG gun platform, which we will be running with the last upgrade, which means that we can, no, not the last one, the first one, which means that we can deploy two separate turrets. And with this, we will actually be able to arc electricity between the two turrets and use that as a choke point for our enemies when we fight them. The way that we're going to do this is with the platform gun, and the platform gun has one upgrade that is called Repellant additive, which means that enemies will avoid walking on the plastcrete foam whenever possible. Basically what this means is that we can create sort of choke points where we put our turrets down, then we electrocute them. The electrocution will slow them down greatly. We can use the breach cutter to kill masses of enemies, as well as the breach cutter being able to stun enemies and keep them in the electrocution for longer. That's sort of the theory. This build also has some limitations. We will cover that as we get on to the gameplay, but I want to start out with just showcasing all of the upgrades that I use for each weapon. Starting off with the Stubby Voltaic Smg, it has a 20% electrocution chance, and besides that, 9 damage, 60 magazine size, 540 max ammo, a rate of fire of 9, and a reload time of 2. Besides that, the damage versus electrocuted targets is plus 30%. For this gun, we will be using our expanded ammo bags, first of all, because you will run out of ammo quite often with this build if you don't. And also we need a high amount of ammo to trigger the arc on our turrets. Next to that, we are going to run high capacity magazine. You can also run improved gas system, which will make it fire faster, meaning that you can output more damage in shorter times. But I find that you sometimes have to shoot your turrets quite often to keep the arc going, so it's nice not having to reload all the time. Besides that, we're also going to run expanded ammo because it's quite useful. We're going to run more damage to targets that are in an electric field because it has a nice synergy with our turrets when they are electrocuting targets. Finally, we have this one down here where I actually have the wrong one selected. There we go. We want to run the electric arch so that we can grab the electrocution, which we have 20% chance to electrocute. We can grab that and we can actually apply that to other people around it with a 25% chance. So we're going to run with that one as well. For the breach cutter, we are going to run prolonged power generation, which means that the projectile will travel longer before it runs out. And we will also run increased ammo because this gun has very limited ammo, but it's a nice weapon to rely on, so we will bring some extra ammo to it. We will also get a significantly wider plasma line that can hit more targets at once. This means that once we start putting down the platforms, we will have a wider AoE for this gun. This is nice because you can't create tiny choke points with the platforms. If you make it too tiny, then the minions or the aliens will just walk over if the path is too complex. Besides that, we also have disruptive frequency tuning. This means that we will be able to stun people or stun aliens as they walk into our plasma. And we will run the beam leaves behind a residual trail of plasma that will continuously damage any enemy that gets too close. This is super nice because the electrocution from the turrets greatly slow down the enemies, so the enemies will stay in this AoE afterwards. For the gun platforms, Gemini system so that we can have two and create electric arches between them, expanded ammo bags so we don't have to refill them all the time, and finally stun. This means that the turrets will have a chance to stun, and if they do so, enemies will stay in the fire for longer. Lastly, defender system, which greatly increases the shot power and a focused scan angle. We will use this because it's always nice to have the turrets sort of firing in the range of where we have created our choke point. Again, this choke point is rather big, but the turrets have a very nice angle even though, so definitely a nice upgrade for this setup. Our platform gun will be running expanded ammo storage. It will be running shock absorbing compound, reduces fall damage. That's the only option we have. And finally, enemies will avoid walking on the plastreet foam whenever possible. This is what we use to create the choke point, and I'll show how we do that once we get into a map. So onto the mission here. I really like to play this build, especially when doing salvage mules, because salvage mules, you'll have to defend the mission uplink, and when you do so, the choke point that you can create with the platforms is very handy. So I've selected one of those missions to showcase what we can do with this build, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. These missions can at sometimes when you are solo be a bit of a hassle because you get quite swarmed, but we should be fine for this one. Hopefully, we got Bosco with us, and Bosco is always great help, so I'm not too worried about it. For now, though, we are just trying to cut it a bit here short until we actually get to the mission uplink control, because that's sort of where this build excels. So I'm probably going to fast forward to there. All right, that is very much an oppressor in front of us, so just quickly put down the turret here to help out with killing this dude. Hopefully we can just get a stun on him here so we can get some room here to fight. Very nice. And kite him over to the turrets here. Let's just finish off these dudes. There we go. And charge up the turrets. There, very nice. And he's now charged. And we should be able to deal with him rather easily. There we go. So the turrets are, in general, quite... They are quite effective in general. We just need this to go away so we can actually repair that mule and get the first mule done for the mission. There we go. Repair that thing, and that is the first mule done, so we just need the second one, and then we are ready to uplink. And here we go with the second one, the second mule repaired. That is fixed, and we can just deposit our nitro here, and let's just call the uplink mission control. Not bother too much with the secondary objective for this mission, because it doesn't really matter for our performance with the build and the way that we can show the build. Very good, and here we are, and it's actually a really nice area. This will be quite easy to show just how this build works. Let's just start out by removing this platform, because we do not need that one there. There we go. Oh, we have an Praetorian. Maybe we should deal with that one. Sounds like a great idea, so let's do that. And then basically what we want to do here is just that we have like this huge cave up here that we kind of want them to not go to. And we want to be sure that we don't get assassinated from behind when the aliens start crawling down the walls. And the way that we do this is quite simply by just throwing down a couple of platforms in a nice little arch here. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to create like too much of an area that they have to walk around, because then they won't do it. Then they will skip it because the area is too complex for them to actually go around. So we just want to create a nice little path here that makes sure that no one all of a sudden enters from behind us. There we go. And then probably something like this, and then we should have a nice area where we can stay behind and make sure that we don't get overrun. There we go. And maybe just that. I'm not 100% sure if they are gonna go around an area that huge, but hopefully they will. And then sort of what we want to do here with the turrets is that we want to put these down right around there is pretty nice. And I think right around there, that should be an okay distance for them to create the arch. You cannot put these away too far from each other, because that way you will not get the arch. So it's very important to remember not to space them out too much. Just for testing purposes here, let's just shoot each of the turrets. And there we go, we do indeed get a nice arch there. And don't forget that the area also works around the turrets, so you're not limited to just this tiny area here. The electrocution also works around the turrets, so don't stress that too much. Let's just repair that, and while we do, also call down a resupply drop. I think that was a bit stupid, because I think that's gonna kill our platforms, but we should be golden, so let's just put up some new ones and fight those. There, that should be all of them, so we can continue repairing this. Coming to an end with the repair. There we go. The uplink is ready. Let's resupply our supplies here. Let's see, do we have to fix this hole? I think we do. So let's just do that before they completely and utterly swarm us. Very good, very good. And as you can see, some of them actually just skip the platforms there, because I think directly behind us might be a bit too complex for them. But we are looking somewhat fine here. Some of them don't really skip, which is always good. If they come from up here, they will for sure not go this way around, and that's always something. But maybe directly behind us, some will skip. But for now, we're good. And actually, right now, the turrets are doing most of the work, so this doesn't look too stressful. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's stay in here, and let's just stay hiding here. I mean, I don't really know where the enemies are. They're just simply not coming right now. I guess that works too. I'll definitely take that. Definitely take that. So let's just keep shooting these. Now, if we would actually get attacked, then once they would get close, we will have both the breach cutter as well as the electrocution going here for us. But for now, this isn't really a problem. I don't know if we simply just glitched out the enemies, but there are simply no enemies here right now. Oh, there they come. There's a few of them. There's a few of them. And as you can see, they nicely walk all the way around, so our turrets has plenty of time to shoot them. Not gonna refill the turrets here because I kind of want to show what I mean about this, being able to electrocute them. Let's get the electrocution running up on these two. There we go. This guy will now be severely slowed as he enters that. And we can just hit him down with a plasma cutter, and we don't really have any issues at all dealing with these. And also the gas, that's one thing you really want to remember, which you can use to your own utilization. The gas from these actually explodes if you electrocute them with the turrets. So it's a potential extra bomb that you can use when you get swamped that will kill enemies around you. What a convenient place for the fuel cells to land. That was not really anticipated, but we'll manage. We'll manage. Let's see. So we kind of already have a nice little choke point here for it, but we can still, I think we can optimize this a little bit. So that one is almost done. Before we fully finish it, I just want to see how can we improve this. We don't want anything coming down from here, and I think we can actually block that off without it harming our performance. And then if we just give it that bit right there, and what about over here if we shield there? That should be all we need to complete this part of it. So once again, turret down. And a turret down, and then if we dig ourselves a little hole in here so we don't get hit by those explosions in case they happen, then that should be all we need to deal with this stage of the battle. Build these turrets again, and of course also reload them with ammo. Right, so we are ready, and let's repair that one. Fully repaired, and they should only be coming that... There we go. So now they should only come in from there. So our gun should have angles to fire at all times now. Got a little bit coming in. Nothing too severe right now. But as you can see, we can easily keep our distance here without getting hit by the electrocution. Also, the electrocution can be a bit frustrating at times, to be very honest with you. Sometimes you have to shoot your turrets so many times before the link actually happens. So just have patience with it, which is also why I recommend that you bring plenty of ammo for your turrets in case they don't want to trigger the electrocution. But there we go. We have no issues so far, so we should be fine. If a detonator comes around when you have a setup like this, good luck is probably the best word of advice I can give you, because it is hard. And also just look at the electrocution there. It is so handy from the breach cutter as well. Oh, what is that? That's another Praetorian coming in over there. So I think we are, yep, just gonna dodge that because he died already, so that's just fine. And as you can see, when you have these choke points, most of the enemies will come in from the same angle. So the turrets actually do so much of the work and leaves very little work for you to do, especially when you have Bosco with you too, because he also deals quite a severe amount of damage. And we are getting some enemies that gets a bit close right now, so let's get the arch going here. Just kill these. And I think we're still fine. The uplink is almost ready. There we go. The drop pod is powering up. We can just stay down here while we get attacked. I don't think we have any issues down here. Let's refill these. We have the proximity mines to use as well in case we need those. But do note that we haven't really needed those yet. But these actually go very well into a combination with your choke points. There we go. Just finish off these. Potentially would have wanted to seal off this area if it's possible at all. Not sure if it is. Let's just trigger some electrocution here because they're getting a bit close. There we go. Now, the only thing that I really think that you should consider with this build when you decide to actually run this, if you decide to run it, is whether it's more efficient for you to actually trigger the electrocution on your turrets, or if it's better for you to simply just kill the enemy, because you will waste some ammo on doing this. So if you have to kill just one enemy, I don't see any situation where it's worth it. That is an oppressor, so we do want to make sure that we get him down quickly. Guys, he is gonna do some damage to us if he gets too close. But that is it and done. The slow from these turrets are just so worth it. Whoops, we kind of let ourselves on fire there just a little bit because of that oppressor's gas exploding. And also, can we just appreciate the tiny little details that the devs have paid attention to when they make stuff like that explode when it gets electrocuted. You don't see that in every game. There we go, that's the oppressor done. I don't know if the gas will explode there. It's just barely touching the electrocution, so I don't think it will. Let's see, can we get another arch going? There we go. Not really needed, but you know, we have the ammo to do so. The drop pod is leaving soon, so maybe we also want to get out of here and actually get into it. There we go. And that is actually it for this mission. So as you can see, pretty efficient setup, especially for soloing missions like this. Goes well into combination with other classes when you are doing these salvage missions, especially something like the driller who has the, what's it called? The freeze gun or the flamethrower, because you can create these nice choke points. And when you have classes that deals damage in a limited area, like for example the flamethrower or the freeze gun, which can assist in dealing damage, then this just goes into a very, very nice synergy. But that is all for this build. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you can put this to good use. If you can, don't forget to hit the like button so that you can show some support to this video and to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a good one. Until next time, bye bye.